and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Caira. I make videos all about Chicago, apartments, things to do, a little bit of Trader Joe's. And today I am filming part 3 of my Q&A to answer all of your questions that you guys had for me about living in Chicago. If you don't already follow me on Instagram, I highly recommend doing so because every once in a while I will pop up a question box and ask you guys what are some of the questions that you have for living in Chicago, apartments, things like that. And I love seeing what you guys want to know and answering the questions to be able to help you out. I moved to Chicago and I didn't know anyone, so I think these videos are really, really helpful. Just that way you can have someone's insight who's been here for a few years and knows the city a little bit better. That being said, if you don't already, hit that big red subscribe button because I post a video every 3 days and I would love to be your Chicago Sherpa. I just drank a whole coffee and I'm feeling caffeinated. So let's go ahead and jump into this video. All right, this first question is best places to go on a weekend in the city with no reservation required. This is tricky. So many places in Chicago require reservations and their reservations book out. If you are able to, on a weekend, get to a restaurant right when they open, they'll always have open seating that's not saved for reservations. So like 3 dots and a dash, their reservations book out really far in advance, plus you have to pay for a reservation online through Talk. But if you get there right at opening, they usually have tables available, plus bar seating is always open. Bar seating is a really good way around the reservation issue. If you can call ahead and see if they keep the bar open for first come, first serve, that can be a really good one. Cafe Babariba, Sushi San, a lot of these restaurants don't do bar reservations, which is really helpful. Also, Timeout Market in West Loop is a great one to go to at any time. West Loop can be super tough because their reservations fill out and a lot of them don't have bar seats, but Timeout is always first come, first serve. There's tons of great restaurants in Timeout Market, and it's honestly just like such a fun vibe. If you haven't checked it out before, highly recommend. Whoa, I had no idea how hard this caffeine hit my brain. I literally still have like half of my coffee left. Well, this is fun. This next question, best places / ways to explore the city. If you are moving to Chicago or new to the city, get out of your neighborhood and explore the other neighborhoods. I cannot explain enough how cool the different neighborhoods are in Chicago. All of them just have so much character and so much to them. It is really, really fun to be able to get out of your area and go check out other ones and just see what the different vibes of the different neighborhoods are. It's one of my favorite things to do in the city, but the downfall of it is every single time I go to another neighborhood, I fall in love with it and I want to live there too. My recommendation would be, especially if you're new to the city, use 1 day per weekend to go and hop on a train line and get off at a different stop. Whether that's like Armitage from the Purple Line, or going to Argyle on the Red Line, or Chinatown, or Morgan on the Green and Pink. Like wherever you get off, it's going to be somewhere really cool, and just walk around that neighborhood and go grab lunch or a coffee or something and just explore it because they really are all different vibes and it's so fun. I think that's been a really great way for me to be able to explore a little bit more. Once you hit a bunch of the train stops, hop on the buses. The buses are super easy too, or get on a divvy bike and just walk around. Like there's so much in Chicago and the different neighborhoods have such different cultures and are so celebrated, and I just absolutely love that. I really recommend taking the time to get out of your bubble and seeing what else Chicago has to show. Okay, I got asked, can you say about University of Chicago and other universities in Chicago? I'm gonna be honest, I have no idea. I didn't go to school in Chicago. I went to school at Arizona State. Go Devils. So my knowledge of Chicago schools is very little to none. All I know is there's a ton of them, and there are a ton of med students here as well for the big hospitals. I don't know anything past that. However, Alex's little brother is going to be going to University of Chicago. Is that right? Where's Sam going?
What's up?
What school is Sam going to?
UIC, University of Illinois Chicago.
Oh, University of Illinois Chicago, which I think is different from University of Chicago. I literally know nothing. But I guess I'll be learning more about that school. Who knows? Maybe I can convince him to let me do an apartment tour of his dorm. Do you think Sam would let me do an apartment tour of his dorm?
That's a great idea.
I think it'd be fun. And he's really neat and good at decor. Anyways, I know nothing about the Chicago schools. I know there's a ton of them, and I know that they're popular, but hopefully in the coming months I'll learn more. All right, next question. General advice for someone new to the city. I have so many videos on moving to Chicago. Watch my videos on questions about winter. I think that's a big one that a lot of people want to know about. I also answered a bunch of that in my previous Chicago Q&A. And then also the video on transit. Transit can be really daunting, but it is not scary. It is super easy, I promise. But watch my transit videos. That will help you a lot as well. All right, this question is, I know you love Chi-Town, but do you guys dream of living elsewhere in the future? So for a little reference, I'm not from Chicago. I'm originally from Northern California, lived in Arizona for 6 years before moving out here. I moved to Chicago thinking that this would be fun for like a couple of years and then move on elsewhere. But I moved here and I've absolutely fallen in love with this city. I love Chicago so much that I really don't think we'll ever leave. I think this will always be home base, especially just like with my career and everything now. This will always be home, but we'll always try and travel as much as we possibly can as well. I'm obsessed with Chicago. I really cannot see myself calling any other city my home, which is so exciting. I love it. All right, next question, Airbnbs in the city. So as you can probably imagine, I've never stayed in an Airbnb in the city because I've always just lived here. But the only experience I really have with Airbnbs in the city is there's Bangtel in Wicker Park. That's one that I've seen a lot of people use for like bachelorettes. It's like a very tropical vibes, like cute one, and it's got like bunk beds and stuff, so that holds a lot of people. Besides that, if you're looking for individual rooms, the only other things I know of are like Casa, K-A-S-A, and Level are like short-term furnished suites, which are about the same price as an Airbnb, but they're about the same price also as a hotel. So Airbnbs are really expensive in the city. The city charges Airbnb owners a lot as far as licenses and taxes. So in turn, the Airbnbs are pretty pricey too. Best places for a date night. So I will include this link in the description box, but I did a whole Google Maps list of top restaurants for date nights in Chicago. Alex and I love going out to eat. It's one of our favorite things to do in the city. After I'm done filming this, we're gonna go to happy hour together. But that list has like 52 different restaurants in all sorts of different neighborhoods that I recommend for people for date nights. There's so many good spots. I highly recommend checking out that list. There's gonna be something for everyone on there. Did you have friends moving to Chicago? If not, how did you make them? Please help. Okay. I talked about this in part 1 as well. Number one thing I did was Bubble BFF. That's how I made the majority of my friends when I first got to the city. I also am starting to host meetups again. So I have another one at the end of this month. It's sold out tickets within freaking an hour, which is insane. But I'm gonna be doing another one, and I'm gonna just try and keep that ball rolling of like doing them more regularly in order to help you guys meet other friends in the city. I also recommend following the Facebook page One Drink In. That's been a big one. And social sports like intramural sports or like social volleyball, kickball, like those types are really good. I know there's like trivia leagues, all sorts of different things like that where you're kind of forced into social situations can be a really good way to meet other people too. About to move. Tips to furnish the empty home on a low budget. What's really nice about Chicago is kind of a transient city, so a lot of people move in and a lot of people move out. So there is always a ton of furniture for sale on like Facebook Marketplace and stuff, and a lot of times it's going for really cheap. So a ton of our furniture has been thrifted or bought used from Facebook Marketplace. Like both of our dressers, our bed frame, our side table, our previous couch, a lot of these things we got used. So I highly recommend checking those out. You see things like CB2 couches or Crate and Barrel or West Elm, like really nice pieces of furniture selling for a fraction of the price because people just need to move. And even still, like IKEA furniture, which is already really well priced, and there are 2 IKEAs in the city if you need to pick up furniture from there. But if you are open to getting them used, you can get them in the city for way cheaper even. If you don't have a car, I recommend getting a get-around car for a day. You rent them like by the hour, and they can be as cheap as like $10 per hour. So if you're picking up a ton of furniture, that can be a good way to just like collect it all and bring it home, because we don't have a car, and that's been like a challenge when picking up things used. IKEA, used furniture, when you're just getting your feet underneath you in a new city, in a new first apartment, it doesn't need to be the nicest furniture in the world. Just get some stuff in there. You can always upgrade and improve as you go along. Don't spend an entire paycheck on something and then be house poor because of it. Just get yourself a basic couch. You're gonna be fine. My first couch was $20 from Goodwill, and I loved it. All right, and last question for this video. I'm gonna keep this one a little bit shorter. This one is best tips for moving with just clothes and little miscellaneous things from out of state. Honestly, I think that's the best way to move, because when moving to the city, it's easier to get things that fit your space, especially if you're working with a budget and you are in a studio apartment. It's so much easier to have your space and then build your stuff in it. I've totally had clients who have moved in and slept on an air mattress while they waited for their mattress from Amazon to come. You could also either order online or get a get-around car to go to IKEA and just get like your basics, kitchen utensils, plates and bowls, like pots and pans. I used my IKEA pots and pans for 4 years. I still use my IKEA plates. I still have the same set of silverware from Target that I got when I got my first apartment 7 years ago. A lot of these things were like cheaper basics, but they've lasted. And you can start with just like the bare minimum of things and then just see what you need and how much you use it and then let yourself expand from there. But I've looked at these checklists online of like things you need for your first apartment, and they're so extensive and overwhelming. And truthfully, if you have a pan, a pot, a plate, a bowl, a spoon, a fork, a knife, a bed, and a TV, because I love having my TV. Everything else you can figure out. You can survive living out of boxes for a few months. Like you can survive sitting on the floor or on your bed or on your couch without a table for a little while. I used a bed tray, like a tray you would eat breakfast in bed on. I used that as my desk for literally years, before I got like an actual like desk, and it was fine. Just be a little bit more flexible with your lifestyle, see what you need, and then as you know what are things that you'll really use more often, that's when I think you should start purchasing things, because I think it's really easy to get caught up in it, get a ton of stuff before you move in, and then actually move in and be like, well, I didn't actually need any of that. Just my 2 cents. All right, guys, if you have any questions, let me know. Feel free to comment down below. I do recommend following me over on Instagram because I post these question boxes every once in a while, and I would love to be able to answer your questions. If you've made it through this entire video and you haven't hit that big red subscribe button, please hit that big red subscribe button. Your guys' support means so much to me. I love being able to help you guys all with your transition to Chicago and hopefully make it a little bit easier. If you are looking for an apartment in Chicago, I am a leasing agent with Compass. I have my job form link down in the description box. Feel free to click on that, and I would love to be able to help you guys find your next apartment. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.